Wow, has it been a while since I've gone live or what? Like, wow, it feels like it's been a while, a good while since I've done a live show, and I do think I am going to try and get back into that. There's always so much to talk about, and always so much to address, always so much to do. Hopefully, it's something I can fit into my schedule going forward. We'll try to get back into that, but, and this is a big but, it may not be possible. Again, there's so much to cover all the time, and until we get there, we'll just have to see. So, yes, I just decided to come live. I wasn't even planning on going live tonight. I just found myself having a bit more time and energy than I thought I would. And so I decided spur of the moment that let's go live. Let's talk about certain issues I've been noticing in the gaming community. I guess you could call this a current state of the Pretendos stream. I feel like I've been doing this once a year for a while now. Addressing how the Pretendos change and evolve and do different things. It's radically different than it was 5 years ago. I will say that it doesn't feel like anybody right now is saying that Nintendo is going to go bankrupt and dying. The big thing I've been seeing mostly been observing is that people are discounting previous Nintendo consoles. This is the fair weather fanboy phenomenon. Part of that, in which these people, the Pretendos, will insist that Nintendo Switch is radically better than consoles like the N64, the GameCube, the DS, the Game Boy Advance, the Wii, the Wii U. Nintendo finally got it right with this console. But that's the perspective, that's the angle they're going with, is that they're happy with the Switch specifically. And from there, you're going to see a lot of these same people turn on the Switch once it becomes unpopular to do so, or once people find some kind of thing to hold against it. I can't believe I didn't have the one game I wanted to bring up here, and when that time comes, these people will take any opportunity they can to shit talk Nintendo and their games. And this is a really very interesting example, something that I myself have not really brought up all that often. With Animal Crossing New Horizons, this universally critically acclaimed game that has had nothing but positive reception among fans and casual players, among Switch owners, among hardcore gamers, kids and adults, like pretty much all audiences. Nobody has any real complaints against New Horizons. Like, I myself have no complaints with Animal Crossing New Horizons. The worst thing I can say about it is that, like, well, maybe New Leaf was better. I'm not sure. That was the big thing that stuck out to me personally, was that, well, maybe Animal Crossing New Leaf was better. So this game has no real problems. It has no real issues. It has there's no real critical backlash to speak of, and yet somehow it still has a 5.2 Metacritic score. It is getting downright bombarded by Pretendos making mountains out of molehills. Like, essentially, look at this. Only the first player created in the game can actually contribute to the development of the island and do the important stuff. The other players on the island can't contribute and can only really gather resources. This limits every other player than the first one and really blows. I hope Nintendo fixes this. This is essentially the Animal Crossing equivalent of Dexit. Like, it is a complete non-issue, and anyone who plays Animal Crossing with someone in your household can attest to this. just have the first player do it. Like, if you're working together for a common goal anyway, just play as the first player. Like, nothing's stopping you. It's not some major inconvenience. Like, what is the issue, really? Like, is this something, really, that justifies giving the new Animal Crossing game a 2, a 4, a 1, a 0? Is this acceptable? Really? To actually review this game, I think you'll need 2 scores. The 4 score being the game when you are a citizen representative. You booted up the game first, and the second score when you are an additional player. I was unlucky enough to boot the game second, and am not a citizen representative, and to be honest, I stopped playing the game after 2 days. You always have a feeling you have an inferior game where you are nothing more than a character on someone's island. You don't get to name the island, you don't get to build the structures on the island, and you don't get to contribute to most of the story, which Animal Crossing has to offer. My brother, who is a citizen representative, enjoys the game and is really polished and has a nice gameplay loop, but I feel ripped off. To me, this game deserves nothing more than a 1 out of 10, because I really cannot live with the fact that my game is limited. This is essentially this year's equivalent of, literally the #1 best Switch game of 2020, and the #1 most discussed Switch game of 2020, if not the most popular game this year so far, period. No wonder these people are coming up against it. Like, I do not believe these people when they say that, like, oh, this is about the island, this is about my representation, this is about, like, my contributions. No! They are looking for an excuse to attack this video game. This is no different than what happened last year with Astral Chain, in which this Platinum Games title got bombarded with negative reviews because it was a Switch exclusive. That's it. Like, we keep seeing this with Switch games in general. In fact, let's bring this up. A Switch, because I just noticed this. Best Switch games of all time. Isn't this kind of disproportionate? 97, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, one of the best games of all time. User score, 8.6. Super Mario Odyssey, 97, 8.9. Divinity, Undertale deserves, a 0 all around. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. See, like, isn't there a trend here? Don't you notice the trend where, like, the user score that anyone can contribute to is noticeably radically lower than the critic review scores, even for, like, the most popular games on the console, right? And they keep dropping as you go further along. Minecraft Switch Edition. Why does this have a 7.4? It's fucking Minecraft. There are some exceptions, but it's pretty general here. And then it just keeps dropping even further. You do see this. Like, you do get the impression that people are actively trying to bombard the Nintendo Switch games, and contrarily, propping up the PS4 games. Like this Final Fantasy VII Remake, I can assure you, is not a game that would naturally have gotten an 8. Like, see, this is a much more controversial game than Animal Crossing New Horizons by a large metric, and there aren't nearly as many people being critical towards it. Like, the Animal Crossing detractors, the Pretendos, are matching the negative reviews to the positive, almost. Like, they're almost 50-50, right? When it clearly doesn't deserve that kind of response. And this legitimately controversial game is being shilled. Oh, ignore all the low ratings. Yeah, sure. Ignore all the very real criticisms I have with this game. Like, look at this in comparison. Like 9, 9, 10, 10, 8, 10, 10, 10, 10. Like, it feels like the opposite. It feels like people are spamming 10s rather than like the 0s and 4s and 1s that, like, New Horizons was getting. It's the opposite problem, and I think it really just goes to show you who's responsible for this. It's the Pretendos, it's the Sony fanboys, it's the Nintendo haters. It's unbelievable just how much these people will resort to. Yeah, I'm not seeing a single negative review here. People are just spamming. Here's a middling one. People are just spamming 9s and 10s to counteract the very real issues that this has. It's unbelievable. It really is unreal. third best PS4 game of 22. What? What's worth more than it? Doom Eternal, Persona 5, and Dreams. Oh yeah, Doom isn't that high. People were really hyping up Doom. It was below Dreams, really. Well, these are all exclusive, so that's probably why they're getting inflated scores. Yeah, I will say Doom Eternal. I was very critical towards Doom Eternal, but like at the very least, I would say it's better than Final Fantasy VII R and Dreams. Probably not Persona 5 R, but like the problem with Persona 5 R is that like it's a re-release, right? When you get right down to it, like a Nintendo re-release, like Link's Awakening, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, stuff like that. Those get like taxed a little bit just because they're re-releases. People will call Nintendo re-releases lazy, and somehow Persona 5 is okay. It just no, that's completely unacceptable. Very, very odd. It's very, very interesting. I guess we could look at some more of these scores. Again, Breath of the Wild, one of the best games ever made. User scores. The user scores for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. 10, 10, 10. I mean, it's being bogged down by people like, Jim Sterling. Critically, it probably would have been able to get a 98 or higher. I don't think there's any really disputing that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a far better game than Red Dead 2 or GTA 4. Several other games on that list, Tony Hawk Pro Skaters 2, I believe has a higher Metacritic score than this. Like, hang on, let's see. Hang on, best games of all time. What is the best games of all time? Oh, yeah. Breath of the Wild is definitely better than Pro Skater 2, better than GTA 4. I have not played the original Soul Calibur. GTA 4, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd say it's better than the Super Mario Galaxy games. Red Dead Redemption 2, GTA 5. Yep. Wait, why does the Dreamcast version of Pro Skater 2 have such a low user score? Were the PlayStation fanboys attacking the Dreamcast as well? That's something I really am starting to believe, honestly, is that, like, I think PlayStation fans attacked the Sega fans as much as they did the Nintendo fans back in the 90s when Sega was still competing. But, of course, Sega couldn't really stay relevant with Sony doing the same thing they did, but better. So they dropped out of the industry, and the entire goal since then has been to get Nintendo to follow suit. But that hasn't really happened. You see, Metroid Prime, yeah. Breath of the Wild is definitely better than Metroid Prime, better than GTA 3, better than Super Mario Odyssey for sure, noticeably better, better than Halo, better than Half-Life 2, better than GTA 5. Oh wait. Better than BioShock for sure. How is BioShock a 96? Fuck that. GoldenEye, yeah, I wouldn't say it's better. I mean, GoldenEye is such an old game. But that's the thing about Breath of the Wild, though. It's like, usually old games are better because, like, new games are so shit, even though, like, new games can technically do way more than older ones. So technically, games should be getting better, but they're not because of the lack of talent involved with them. So I'm actually not sure whether I would say GoldenEye is better than Breath of the Wild. Probably not, but Uncharted 2, yeah, that does not deserve to be on there. Resident Evil 4, ooh, the GameCube version, yeah, that's a good choice. The Orange Box doesn't deserve to be on there. Arkham City, no. Tekken 3, no. Mass Effect 2, no. Twilight Princess. Breath of the Wild is definitely better than that. I wouldn't give Twilight Princess that high of a score. I would say Wind Waker is better. Yeah, Wind Waker's on there. Elder Scrolls 5. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 doesn't deserve to be on there. Oh man, look at all this shit. Grand Theft Auto, Little Big Planet, Collector's Edition, Red Dead Redemption, shit. There's a trend I always notice here. Like, the only games that really belong on this list are, like, Nintendo games. Like, everything else is like, okay, what are you even doing, like, having above a 90? Do you know what I mean? Like, God of War, PS4, no way. Devil May Cry, no. Batman Arkham City, no. Mass Effect 2, no. Ocarina of Time 3D. Oh fuck yes, that game's great. Chrono Cross. Oof. Damn, it's embarrassing. Let's see. Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey. Yeah, I guess that's everything I wanted to showcase on Metacritic. The very, very real bias you get against certain games on the platform. People desperately, desperately, desperately try to downplay certain games. Like this certainly doesn't deserve a 7.6 for a pretty good port of a game. Sure, I would argue that Fighter Z should have come to a Switch right away, but anyway. All right. I guess we could check out Twitter real quick. Oh, hey everyone. Oh, wow. I was not aware there were so many people. All right, let's check out the chat here. Metacritic should be left behind. It's just console war fodder. Yes, exactly. In general, I feel like game journalists are essentially pushing console wars onto people. Like it's obvious to everyone that Nintendo is the best. Nintendo has the best games, it has the best consoles, it has the best support, the best accessories, the best new IPs. There's really no competition. And yet because of the propaganda, the extent of the propaganda, like game journalists hyping up every little thing that comes out on PlayStation, from Days Gone to Ghost of Tsushima to The Last of Us towards Horizon Zero Dawn, Knack, Octodad, countless examples, right, of them hyping up every little thing. Anthem, Destiny, Evolve. Damn, it's impossible to keep track of everything that was supposed to be like a big deal. Like, funny, has anybody brought up Horizon Zero, Beyond Good and Evil 2? Like, has anybody brought up how disappointing that's looking to be? Has anybody brought up how it's been delayed, how it looks nothing like the original, how like how it's doesn't look all that good to begin with? Like, no, it's bizarre how the extent people will go to justify these other consoles. Okay, you are literally sitting on a website getting mad at game reviews from random people on the internet. Yeah, because they're clearly biased. Sony fanboys and their covert and obvious ones on Nintendo will always cancelly attack well-made games. They do this to the Xbox One games a lot too. Yeah. This is definitely something I will. Yes, I definitely agree with this. Sega got it. Xbox got it. I'm sure, like, if there were other companies that get it as well. Sony fanboys are toxic. Like, they are against the ideas of the idea of other consoles even existing, and they will viciously attack everything that takes attention away from their precious Nintendo for life. Let's see. Ninjala looks so hype. I'm not super excited for that. Let's see. Yooka-Laylee in the Impossible Lair deserves a 90. Let's see. Yep, Nintendo is just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. All right. Let me see here. I wanted to talk a little bit about anime, but I'm kind of fired up about talking about like the superiority of Nintendo consoles. Right. So anime, man, oh man, I've been watching a lot of anime over the past couple weeks, the past couple of days, and I have gotten caught up on a couple of shows. I have gotten into a lot of shows. I've watched a couple of minutes an episode of a show and then dropped it. I've been trying to get into more anime, and I would say like most of the shows I've checked out have been shit. Like I've been trying like all sorts of weird shit, all sorts of weird stuff that I've vaguely heard of but didn't really know a whole lot about. Usually it was complete shit, right? Sometimes it was only in Japanese, sometimes it was porn or whatever, like fan servicey bullshit. Sometimes it was like self-serving Persona style fantasy projection shit. But there were a couple of really good shows that I've seen. Namely, I do like My Hero Academia. I am very. I just released a video talking about how, all the critical things of it, but after watching some of these other shows that are available, like My Hero Academia, it's so much better than a lot of this other shit that I've tried to watch. It's just unbelievable. Like it's actually fun. Like it actually feels unique. It actually feels like it's doing something with its concept. Like sure, you can argue that like the character designs aren't great. They could do more with the characters. The animation could be better. The storylines could be better. You can argue a lot of things about My Hero Academia, right? But at the end of the day, it's still fairly fun. It's still reasonably interesting. It's still a good watch. You know what I mean? Even if it's not like the best thing ever, you know what I mean? Like it's still perfectly enjoyable. Unlike the show that I tried to watch today, Black Clover, I'm like something like 3.5 episodes into it. I don't think I can watch any more of it, man. I just don't think I can watch it. It's so bizarre. I've heard nothing but bad things about Black Clover. I have a couple of people. I know a couple of people who watch it who have told me it's good, and so I thought that like, well, I'll just add it to my queue and then check it out after I finish watching Dr. Stone, which by the way is awesome. Which I'll probably get into that. So I finished watching Dr. Stone and immediately was just like, okay, I'm gonna record my Dr. Stone review video. Check that out, and then I'm going to go and watch Black Clover and watched Black Clover, watched episode 1, watched episode 2, watched episode 3, and holy fucking shit. Like, I have seen this show before. Like, I am not kidding you. Like, I was watching this, and, like, from the very instant, right? From the very instant you sort of see Asta, like, beat that random guy who I'm sure we're never going to see again in the first episode. Like, I've seen this before. I saw this when it was called Naruto, and I liked it more when it was called Naruto. Because like, Black Clover is just the laziest, most cliche, most formulaic, most copy-pasted bullshit of trying to ride on Naruto's coattails I've ever seen in my life. It's bizarre how similar they are from like a story beat. Like, this super annoying protagonist, I'm gonna be the Wizard King. You have like the rival, the super handsome rival with super magic powers. You have Asta being laughed at for sucking at magic, literally having no magic apparently. You have like him fighting, I'm never going to give up. And then you have him winning that fight somehow. I'm still not entirely sure how. Then you have like him and his prodigy friend becoming closer. You have like people doubting him, but I'm going to be the Wizard King. Like, you have him like encouraging this kid he knows to follow his dreams, exactly like Naruto, right? It is downright disgusting how similar it is. And like, at this point, the only reason I'm even considering like continuing to watch it, because like I said, like, Asta is super annoying. It's not funny. The fights aren't good. The world isn't fleshed out. I don't care about the premise. I don't care about the ideas. It's just incredibly uninspired bullshit is what I'm getting at. I am so frustrated. Like, I am just probably the worst shonen Dragon Ball copy paste shonen battle manga thing. I'm not sure what you refer to this genre. Like, that's the worst Jump series I've ever seen personally. I can't think of anything from Jump that I dislike more than this. Like, Bleach, I reasonably liked what I saw from it. Like, Naruto, I will defend in comparison to this. One Piece, literally one of my favorite things ever, right? I'm just like, wow, this is complete bullshit. This is uninspired. It's generic. It's boring. Black Clover is like, unless the fights are good, unless like unless the fights are like unusually really good, like I don't think there's any salvaging this. Like I think this is pure shit. I'm just not at the point yet where I'm definitely going to drop it. Like I think I'm going to. The plan for now is to wait until we see a fight, and then I'm just going to drop it. Like I'm done after that. If the fight isn't good, if it isn't interesting, no, I'm dropping it. I'm just. There's so much about this show that I don't like, and I'm surprised I don't see more people railing on it. It makes me wonder just how low the bar is when it comes to like shows like this, how uninspired something actually can be, and I'm wondering just I'm wondering if I'm going to find something else that I'll dislike even more, because I hear people rail on a Fairy Tail all the time. That's the one that I always hear people make fun of. I'm not sure if Black Clover is in the same boat or not. I think it must be, but I haven't heard anything about it. You know what I mean? Like I've heard more people complain about Bleach, about Naruto, about Fairy Tail than this. Again, I know next to nothing about this. I just had it on my queue and decided to check it out, and it was shit, complete shit. In contrast, Dr. Stone, the Virgin Black Clover versus the Chad Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone is legit one of my probably my favorite anime this year. Probably not my favorite of all time, because I think the second half of season 1 kind of drags a bit too long. But for the most part, I still really, really enjoyed it. Like, there was no real problem with Dr. Stone. Like, Dr. Stone was incredibly funny, incredibly engaging, fascinating, clever, intriguing, interesting, unique, character-driven. Like, right? Like, it actually felt like the characters had personalities and goals and just interests, and just it made the entire show just come to life. You know what I mean? Like, it actually felt like it was planned out. It actually felt like it actually felt fresh and exciting, and radically rather different than most other shows I've seen on that list, on my list. It stuck out to me in general because it's sci-fi. It's a post-apocalyptic sci-fi about rebuilding civilization, and it does that really, really, really well. I was very, very impressed. Even now that I'm kind of curious as well, if it's been literally thousands of years since the end of civilization, why aren't there more people? I have some questions about Dr. Stone. Maybe they'll address them. Maybe they will. We kind of got that. We kind of got some answers to certain questions already. That I had already. So I'm pretty optimistic that the show will resolve certain issues I have with the plot. Just questions I have. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be exciting. I have a certain amount of faith that they're going to come through and continue to make it as good as previous seasons. I am very, very excited about the future of Dr. Stone. I'll be reading the manga for sure. Honestly, I should probably read that tonight. But anyway. I'm getting on that Discord. How is Nintendo exactly better in all these ways over PC? Not even trolling, just want to know. Nintendo has better games and better technology. There's more to having good tech than just paying for having the most powerful hardware. I think PC is a good console to game on. Ever played Dark Souls 3? No, I'm not interested in Dark Souls. PlayStation fanboys generally try to pretend to be PC ones because they want to pretend to be better gamers rather than appreciate quality games. They like the labels over actual games. Stick to gaming. Most switch off once anime is brought up. Let's see. Well, it's a live stream, so I guess All right. Was there another topic I wanted to bring up? Let's see. Dragon Quest. I did say I was going to talk about Dragon Quest, didn't I? Yeah. So Dragon Quest. I have been playing a little bit of Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest 2. And I really do think, at this stage, it's safe to say that I am a big Dragon Quest fan. Not just a fan of the Dragon Quest brand or like the license or whatever. Like, I feel I feel that Dragon Quest might be one of my favorite video game franchises. Period. I am really, really, really impressed at how much I'm addicted to this IP. How much I love the art style, the music, the personality, the gameplay. The gameplay in particular, I think, is something that early Dragon Quest does not get enough credit for. Because a lot of people don't seem to appreciate that Dragon Quest is fairly open, like in this regard, where you can sort of go as far. It feels like you are exploring the world. It feels like you have to find things. In Dragon Quest 2, I actually spent like 15, 20, 30 minutes trying to find my second party member because apparently he got lost on the way back home, and you have to find him, and I had no idea what he looked like, so I was wandering around, and I finally found him, and it was very engaging and fun. You know what I mean? Like, you sort of had to you had to talk to NPCs, figure out what you were supposed to do, and then do it. It wasn't like cinematically driven. It wasn't narratively driven. It was gameplay driven. It's an RPG, a JRPG, a turn-based JRPG, where you are primarily taking it upon yourself to complete your task. You're not going from plot element to plot element. You're actually going through on your own adventure. It actually feels like you're the one meeting these people, growing stronger, figuring out what you need to do. There are no quest markers. There are no objectives. You're told your objectives, but you're told your objective as an actual person. You know what I mean? As an actual character, as the actual hero of the franchise, and it's strangely immersive in a weird way. And I think a lot of other RPGs, including Final Fantasy, which I think most Western fans would consider to be superior to Dragon Quest, I find it to be wow. I'm just constantly blown away by how these games. How engaging these games are, even though on the surface they seem very basic and very, very simple. I'm very, very much enjoying Dragon Quest 2, and I'm hoping I can finish it soon, move on to 3, and then finally move on to 11, which I've owned for since it came out in September. It's been forever since I bought Dragon Quest 11, and I was enjoying it, but yeah, when they launched all three of those games, they launched 4 Dragon Quest games in a day, and I'm still trying to get through all of them because they're fairly lengthy. Even the old ones are fairly long. So, plus I've been busy with other things, so it's that is definitely something I felt this weekend. I was way more interested in working on my book and watching anime than I was in playing games. I do feel like I'm going to be taking a break from gaming for a while, for to a certain extent. I think I will be focusing on playing the 3DS and trying to 100% Kid Icarus Uprising, and then move on to Fire Emblem Awakening and stuff like that. I have been trying to scale back my game time in favor of doing other things. Of course, I'm a novelist. I have to expand my social networking, which I am working on. I've got to expand my audience. I've got to write new books, write new material. I've been considering writing for a magazine actually, which I technically can do, but it's okay, is that really going to be worth my time? I think it will at this stage. I think I am going to do it just for the sake of doing it, but we'll see. We'll see how that. We'll see if I decide to commit to that or not. I am working on Rabbit Hole, my next book, which is coming along very, very well. I'm nearly at the 30,000 word mark. I'm almost there, just a little bit more, and I will be about a third of the way through, like almost a third of the way through. I think this one's going to be about 100,000 words long. I think it will be done by the end of the year. It's just a matter of like really getting in really good sessions. Right now, it feels like I am working on it. I'm making progress on it, but it's not like great progress. You know what I mean? It's just sort of happening at like a snail's pace, and it could be better. But I'm very happy with what I'm writing at the same time. So it's like, if I go faster, it's going to be more of a disaster. If I don't go faster, anyway, it'll be done soon, and I'm very happy with the work I have put into it, and I do plan on doing more things with it later. Do Honestly, the main problem I have with Rabbit Hole taking so long is that like it's taking away from developing other projects, which I also want to work on. Like I don't think I've looked at like the outline for the scary thing since like I don't know, last year. It would be December, right? 4 months from now. I was just thinking the other day that like I don't remember like everything about that outline I made, that really elaborate outline about this weird ass guy. Okay, maybe I could just show an outline on stream and just show it off, but nah. You can wait until it's a finished product. Okay, so all right. So I think some people want to talk to me on Discord. Yeah, there we go. So let's bring them in after looking through this a bit. Hey, what's up, everyone? Big N. All right, I guess we can talk to people on Discord and see what they want. Let's see. What are people? Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Is this Harmon?
Yes.
Oh, what's up?
Hello.
How you doing?
Fine.
Let me close this out, it's too loud.
What did these people want to talk about? Video Game Lover 58 is a Sony apologist. I definitely agree with that. He is a massive Sony fanboy. Well, like I noticed the other day that he deleted his Twitter account and then made a new one and then like tagged me in like a post he made. I noticed that and I was just like, why are you making new Twitter accounts? Like, did he get banned again? Like, is that what happened? I'm not sure.
He got banned.
I'm sorry?
He got banned.
Oh, he did get banned? For what? What'd he do?
Suspended.
Suspended? For what, harassment or what?
I forget.
Okay, yeah. I guarantee you it was some kind of harassment because he's always going after like everyone. You know what I mean? Like it's not just me. You know what I mean? Like it's PC gamers, Xbox fans, like everyone. Probably anime fans as well. But I don't know about that. I haven't been following his anime content at all. I'm honestly not even sure what he watches other than My Hero Academia.
He watches other things.
Yeah, I know he does. I'm just not sure what those things are.
There's a good anime called Tokyo Magnitude 8.0. Or 9.0. But anyways, I want to say to me review scores don't matter too much. They really don't.
They don't, but the media, people are desperate to sort of present this facade that Nintendo games aren't very good. You know what I mean? Like it's just an attempt to downplay Nintendo Switch games by any means possible, while hyping up PlayStation games. They don't really matter, but like the fact that these people will go to such an extent to attack like Animal Crossing, Astral Chain, Breath of the Wild, it's really unreasonable.
Who are these people?
The Pretendos.
I disagree. I just think
they just voicing their opinion. I mean, some of these, because I was watching your stream, I think some of these things are valid, that they were saying, and I don't think they're biased.
Like what? What was reasonable?
Uh, okay, someone was talking about how like the islands, you could only make one island per Switch, and they were getting.
Well, I addressed that. Like, it would be very, very easy to just go on the main profile and make any changes you need. Like, it's not something that would destroy the entire game. You know what I mean? Like, people were giving like the game zeros and like ones and fours because of that. That's I don't think it was that big of a deal. Even if you don't like it, like it's like it doesn't ruin the entire game. I think it was unreasonable.
But I do think, I mean, a lot of people want to make multiple islands, and for a lot of people, maybe that does ruin the game. I don't think it's that big of an issue, like you said, but I do think it's an issue, and I don't think it could be called biased about it.
I don't believe it's ever been a thing in Animal Crossing to make multiple islands, multiple towns in a single cartridge. I think that's I find it strange that people are fixating on this one thing when that's not really something that Animal Crossing has ever done. New Leaf did something similar, as I recall. But
Okay, and then I have another question. When you call other people biased, do you think you're not biased?
let's see. I would say I'm biased, yeah.
So then, how do you get off calling other people biased?
Well, they're ignorant in their biases. They're making empty claims. I am very analytical, and I understand things thoroughly. So I am biased towards Nintendo because I know that they're better.
Sega comes close.
Sega. I'm not a big Sega fan, honestly. I actually just tried to play the Panzer Dragoon remake, and I didn't care for it too much. I was really surprised. I was really expecting to enjoy it, but no, it wasn't very good.
Okay.
Very disappointing.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
But they have many IPs. But nothing I'll say is that there's different types of Nintendo fans that are Pretendos. Like, look at Shokyo and Arlo.
Your mic's not working. You should probably.
Well, Shokyo and Arlo are both Pretendos for sure. In different ways, obviously. Like Shokyo is one of those people who would want Nintendo to be exactly like Sony and Microsoft, and then Arlo is like super against certain, very very much against certain Nintendo games going in a certain direction. Paper Mario, getting angry over Pikmin, over Pikmin spin-offs, things like that. That's I find both of those attitudes very reprehensible, and I don't care for either of those individuals.
What's a Pretendo? Can y'all do what is that?
Let's see. Someone who essentially pretends to be a Nintendo fan in order to justify their terrible opinions about the company. I am a Nintendo fan, but like you always hear them come up with stuff like that.
The only guy who's really Pretendo is Claude Dixon.
I don't know who that is.
Well, he's never praised Nintendo, but he subscribed to some guys who you describe as Pretendos.
Well, I can't keep track of everyone in the community. I don't even watch other YouTubers anymore because I'm so busy like actually playing games and actually like working on my career and stuff. Like I don't have time to follow everything that everyone is doing. You know what I mean? Because I don't know who everyone is. Let's see here. I guess we could look at 4chan. Let's see.
Okay, hello. I know you're in the middle of doing something, but I have another question. All right.
Sure.
You remember how you said when the last debate we were in, how PC gaming was dead?
I did say that, yeah.
How I don't like you said that's how you feel, and I don't think you could feel something like that. You know, how do you say that?
Well, because it's true. Like, what PC game has been relevant in the past decade or so? Like, next to nothing. Like, everything either is easily available on PS4 or Xbox One or both, or it's just not relevant. It's
Like Dota?
I am not like I don't.
Because the thing I have a problem with, right, is everyone's saying, oh, PC gaming is dead, but I never see any numbers. Like, you could go on Google right now and search up, is PC gaming dying, and there's no numbers to say that. If anything, it trumps what all the consoles combined can do, even from last generation. If you add that together with this generation, it's not doing anything. What PC gaming is doing. And
Video game lover 58 on the stream. He's not watching for once. Wow, that's kind of amazing. Um, all right, so let's focus on can this can Pokemon be unfucked at this point, or is it just better to let it fester away? Pokemon Sword and Shield were amazing, by the way. That really needs to be said. Great games. Definitely another example of people actively trying to ruin a major Nintendo franchise in 2019. People were actively going after it the same way that they went after the Wii U and the Wii U and its games. And certain 3DS games. The ball started rolling in the 3DS era, but it was with the Switch where people were finally going to try to go after Pokemon. Oh, how dare Pokemon not have a big open world like Breath of the Wild? How dare it not be given the Breath of the Wild treatment? Masada is too far gone at this point. Yes, just redo all the road, all the plot, all animations, and add back all Pokemons. Easy, bros. Needs too many things that are improbable to happen to get back on track. So what's even wrong with this game? Like all anyone's doing is like blaming specific people on the team. Like, oh, we need to get rid of Masuda and Amori. Like, we need to fuck over TPC and GF to let make games. Players need to be less willing to eat shit and greedily ask for more every February. It's just not viable. The last one almost happened, but all the retards saying they were done ended up first in line to buy in November. Yeah, remember when people were saying that Sword and Shield were gonna bomb, and now they're like the most successful Pokemon games ever? Not the most successful, but did better than a lot of fan favorite games. Gen 5, I believe, for certain. Very interesting. Like, this is what I mean when I say Pretendos. Like, why are these people just angrily attacking people who make games that they supposedly enjoy? Do you know what I mean? It's just bizarre to see people to rage over this sort of thing. Whenever I heard anything positive about Pokemon Sword, like, that's the thing. I do hear plenty of things positive about Pokemon Sword, just not in these kind of communities. Like, these kind of communities, the hardcore online gaming community, it's a joke. Like, all it is just rampantly complaining about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I remember people like raging over like the Curry decks being a thing. Like, why? Like, what's the point? What's the purpose of that? I'm just like, 25 years ago, Chrono Trigger. Is Chrono Trigger really 25 years old? I remember when Pro Jared made that 20th anniversary video, which is when I actually replayed the game, and I did like it. I like Chrono Trigger quite a bit. I don't agree with people who say it's like one of the best games ever, but yeah, it's perfectly enjoyable, especially compared to modern Square RPGs. Like Final Fantasy VII R. Do people want to see me rant about Final Fantasy VII R again? I don't have a ton of time. What happens if you R? Let's see. Air distress in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Let's see. Final Fantasy VII Remake. The ending explained. Do not buy the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh yeah, this is the most base stream I think I've ever seen. I would like to play this. I'm not sure if he would like me to do that. Final Fantasy VII Remake, all cutscenes. Genova, Final Fantasy VII Remake, extending, explained. Final Fantasy VII Remake soundtrack, stand up, Honeybee. Who's Mars? I don't know who Mars is. Final Fantasy VII Remake, final trailer. 1.6 million views. I guess we can add one more to this trailer. Oh, would I get a copyright claim for streaming this? I'm actually not sure. I mean, it's a publicly available trailer. It can't be that big of a deal. Unless Square is just that toxic. It's so interesting how people will point out, like, Nintendo doing this constantly. And then, like, I was surprised when I did a stream of this, of Final Fantasy VII content, and I got copyrighted for the music, of all things, which really surprised me. Funny how people don't bring that up, but okay. When it's Square Enix doing it. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You poser. Weird.
Really? What's weird about it?
Nothing. Just that you were the same rank.
Huh?
The first guy I ever loved.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Cloud. I'm not a virgin. Please don't go away.
Your eyes.
Yes. Aerith is an ancient.
Eris is an ancient.
The last one living.
You know you're not just any little girl.
By the way, Eris's mom is actually kind of a bitch in this game. Like, she literally tells Cloud, "Don't talk to me or my daughter ever again." She literally does the meme. It's hilarious.
You're a descendant of the ancients.
In like the wrong kind of way, you know what I mean?
I'm not an ancient.
Chibi Aerith.
When we're older and you're a famous soldier, if I'm ever trapped or in trouble, promise you'll come and save me.
So she has like a Princess Peach fetish.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of all of this.
Her stupid hat. Okay.
I've
All
never
right.
been so proud. Women must be hounding you day and night.
I'd really love to stay and chat, but we gotta go.
So soon?
Got more pizza in the oven? I'll take another wedge. Looky here, boys. Burglars. Tifa, I'm coming for you.
What? What does this have to do with Final Fantasy VII? Yeah, this is so much of this game is like bullshit. So, all these characters are obviously not in the original game, and yet they're still trying to present them as if it's like normal. Who's the girl who's like basically a Kiri? I think her name is, like, she's basically a knockoff Yuffie. It's just like kind of bizarre. Like, Vincent and Yuffie are not in this game at all. Like, Red 13 is just a guest party member. It's bizarre how little they managed to accomplish with this remake. Let's see. Is this the end of the game? Like, the game ends at the chase at the end, right? Yeah, so I've heard nothing but bad things about this game from reliable sources. The only people praising it at this point, I think, are hardcore Sony fanboys who will praise literal dog shit as long as it's like a PlayStation exclusive. You know, we saw this with Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone and Death Stranding to a certain extent. This is really no different. But it is getting disgusting seeing people really disrespect this classic game like this. Not just the creators, but the fans, because more people should have been angry about these time ghosts. Like, why aren't more people raging about that? Like, their very existence is just ruined the entire thing. Like, even if the game was good, I don't think these things would be acceptable. Yeah, like Sephiroth shouldn't have been in this. Well, in this episode. Again, the remake should have been like the entire game. Are they really showing the final boss? So yeah, the Final Fantasy VII remake, rebuild of Evangelion. If that's sad and depressing. Sad and depressing with improved graphics and 4K. Final Fantasy VII isn't that depressing. I don't know why people are coming up with this. If anything, it's pretty upbeat for the vast majority of it. Like, that's another thing that makes me think the vast majority of people don't actually play this game, because, I don't know, like, the way these people talk, you would think that, like, Eris dies every other cutscene, you know what I mean? It's like, what is this motherfucker doing on here? No, I'm not interested in this pleb. Tell us why, I don't like the video. Yeah, sure, why not? Tell us why. Wait, what? Hang on. Can I not complain about the channel? I was gonna... Nitro Rad is a complete pleb. Alright. Let me see here. Yeah, this is why I don't watch YouTubers. I just get them off my feed. Alright. What's trending on gaming? I gotta get going, but... yeah, I do have to get going, and I don't really think I have anything else to talk about. Yeah, hey everyone, what's up? Laughing my ass off, I love you. Okay, thank you. Maximilian Dude said Panzer Dragoon was better than Star Fox 64. Did he really? Damn. Does that motherfucker have the worst taste or what? Like, hang on. Yeah, because that is complete bullshit. You can't even argue that without me, like, no. Completely unacceptable. Like, when did he say that? When did he say that? Maximilian Dude. That is just downright wrong, because, like, you know, Star Fox 64 has better gameplay, it has multiple paths, it has, like, you know, better visuals, probably. Better than Star Fox. Ooh, yeah, we have to see this, because I am, like, 100% like, no, definitely not. Definitely not. A few weeks ago, I was browsing one of the local thrift shops when I came across a treasure trove of Saturn games, all marked at $2 a piece. Among them was the entire Panzer Dragoon series released for the Saturn. That's right, even the retardedly expensive on eBay saga. Having recently finished all the games in the series, I'm making a thread so you can all read and be jealous. Let's see. Yeah, I own the remake of the original. The second game in the series follows better than Star Fox. How is it better than Star Fox? I want to see how this. Hang on, Orta. So the Star Fox. Sadly, these games didn't age well at all. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Is better than Star Fox, because that is just a shit opinion to have. Like, I was thinking of playing Panzer Dragoon on Nintendo Switch. I think the original Star Fox is better. I think 2 is better. I think 64 is better. Yeah, Assault is probably better. You can't argue that Panzer Dragoon is better when literally every game in the series is better than it. Yeah. Oof. And like Panzer Dragoon is not getting very very good reviews at all. Like people are saying that they botched the remake, but I suspect that the original game wasn't that good to begin with. To be completely honest with you, it doesn't feel like they changed a whole lot, like mechanically. It's all right. Cloud the Virgin, Link to Chad. Oh, definitely, definitely. Zelda remakes have been so much better than Final Fantasy remakes. Unbelievable. All right. Fun fact, Yoko Taro stated the Panzer Dragoon series was a major inspiration for the Drekengard and Nier series. I don't care about Yoko Taro. Yoko Taro has to be like the substitute Kojima. Like, that's all this is. Like, oh, he made Nier Automata. Like, isn't he based in Red Pill? What's he made since then? Like, this is the reality of the situation we're in which the Pretendos, the Sony fanboys, the PlayStation Nation, that they're so desperate to have any kind of like real notable talent behind them that they'll hype up anyone. Like they'll hype up like the Crash Bandicoot guy, they'll hype up like Yoko Taro, they'll do all this stuff. Like, wouldn't it be? Isn't it funny how Platinum Games was a big part of what made Nier Automata what it was, and none of that attention, none of that praise carried over to them. Like, people praise Square Enix for that. They praised Yoko Taro for that, who probably didn't deserve shit. Astral Chain is probably significantly better than anything Square Enix is going to put out in the next several years. Definitely way better than Final Fantasy VII-R, for sure, even from that cyberpunk perspective. It just, wow. Astral Chain is better than Final Fantasy VII-R. What the fuck? Unbelievable. Ooh, I gotta be going. Yeah, I'm in a rush. I swear this came out of nowhere. For anyone who doesn't know, this franchise was on the Sega Saturn of all things. Okay, oof. Yep, Panzer Dragoon, super overrated. Yep, I gotta be going. So yeah, check out my books. I might stream tomorrow morning if I had anything to talk about. Again, I have plenty of things to talk about, but if people really don't want to watch me talk about non-gaming subjects, again, I mostly want to. Yeah, definitely want to watch more anime, read more books, talk about my books, talk about my games. I'm definitely not going to stop doing that. I'm definitely going to keep that up. Should I keep doing live shows? Should I do pre-recorded content? I don't know. But until then, I will see you all next time. Thank you for tuning in. Check out my books. Check out my other content. Check out my Dr. Stone review.